Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Very excited to be hopping off of this YouTube hiatus. Today I am getting ready for work and I'm chatting all about my new job, how I am trying to build a personal brand outside of my 9 to 5, and just trying to share some more tips on being a creator, being a marketer, and working in the beauty industry. So if you want to chat with me, let's get into it, and thank you guys so much for watching. Good morning. I am getting ready for work, so I figured we can take this time to catch up. There's been a lot of life changes, so let's get into it. First of all, YouTube is just so strange because it's like you can show up just authentically, say whatever it is that you want to say, get it all out, but then it's also like, am I saying stuff that makes sense? Am I saying stuff that's actually going to be of value to somebody who's listening? And I'm going to stop overthinking it. We're just going to show up. Here we are. Hello. Starting off with the One Size Secure the Blur Primer. I have that morning raspiness in my voice, so I'm hoping that it just, I don't even know. First of all, I'm like running out of primer. I'm running out of my favorite skin cleanser that I use, just running out of everything. So that's always a good time. For starters, some of you might have subscribed to my page as I was working at Clinique. I am no longer at Clinique. I'm no longer at the Estee Lauder companies. I decided to take a leap. And by leap, I mean leap. Even if we just take it a step back, Estee Lauder was the #1 company that I knew that I wanted to work for. I loved just all of the programming and the resources that they had. I graduated from Howard University and they had like a She's Howard program. And just through that program, I was able to learn so much about people that work there, so much about the company, about the brand. So that was like a major selling point for me. When I was like still in college, this was maybe like 2019, I think. I attended a like beauty industry event that we had on campus, and I can't even remember. I know we had like some people from like LVMH, we had some from L'Oreal, and then there was some from Estee Lauder. And I remember the Estee Lauder employees, I think I had ended up like at a networking table with them, and just to hear all of the amazing things that they had to say about working there and just everything in between, I was like, oh, I'm sold. This is where I want to be. And so I started putting Estee Lauder on all my vision boards. And so I really loved and cherished my time working at the company. I was able to work for Tom Ford. I was able to work for Clinique. I was able to sit on the advisory board for La Mer. I also worked closely with She's Howard. Once I got in, I was like, this is the program that I need to be working on behind the scenes, because this is ultimately what led me to the company. And so in that aspect, I really wanted to like pay it forward. So in the spirit of trying to diversify my experiences, I think that ultimately what led me to be where I am in the beauty industry is the fact that I've had diverse experiences. I've worked as a makeup artist, I worked in retail, I worked at Sephora, I worked at NYX Professional Makeup, and then I also worked on social media marketing for, you know, like small beauty businesses that were in my area. That was what I did when I was in college, in high school even, and that's what ultimately led me to where I am today. So I think being able to diversify my experiences was always something that I wanted to do, whether it was working at an agency or working at a startup or working at a big Fortune 500 company. And so I think I'm at a point in my career, I've worked for 2 really amazing brands, just under an amazing just company umbrella. And so I was like, I think I want to use my skills to help a brand grow. I think that I've learned so much through my corporate experience. Take that experience and do something with it. Something that's a little more like meaningful. I think it can be a little daunting when you are working at these. I'm like watching my Himalayan salt lamp flicker behind me. And I'm like, what's going on? Is it about to explode? But yeah, I think sometimes when you're working at these really large companies, it can almost feel like you're just like a speck of dust in everything that's like going on. It can be a little hard to kind of see your impact. Your teams are usually a lot larger. It can be a little more difficult to be creative or to be innovative, to like try to bring new things to the table. You have to have like a lot of support behind you or a lot of data to back you up. So learning that aspect of being in a really large corporate environment pushed me to wanting to explore startup life. And so I am currently working as the PR and influencer marketing manager at Violet FR. For a little bit of background, when I became obsessed with beauty, I literally studied all makeup artists, beauty directors, like trying to figure out what it is that I wanted to do with myself. And so one of the makeup artists that I studied was Violet Surratt, who is now my boss, which is so crazy. He's worked as beauty director, creative director at Guerlain, at Estee Lauder, for the Estee Lauder brand. She's just done so much in the industry. I've always just been really inspired by her. She's a French woman. I love French culture. I think I'm still feeling out my experience with startup life. Anything that is different, anything that is new is going to force you to grow. It's going to force you to be uncomfortable. It's going to force you to, you know, just kind of start over a little bit, and so that's always pretty daunting. I'm going in with the Amicole Skin Enhancing Stick. This is my tried and true. If you follow me on TikTok, you know that I live, swear, die by this right here. I just like it because it covers up any sort of like acne that I have, but not in like a, oh, you have a lot of products on your face type of way. Like it just melts into your skin so beautifully. I'm 3 months in. I'm also in office a lot more, so I think that's where my like content has kind of taken a little bit of a backseat, and just having more responsibility, learning a new job that can always just be very time consuming. So I'm trying to take the time to absorb it and to learn everything that I need to know. But you know, with that comes taking a step back with certain creative outlets, I will say. That leads me to, I have been truly falling in love with creating content, and from the aspect of mostly on TikTok. I feel like I've been posting a little more on Instagram Reels now, but still just kind of feeling out what my, I don't want to say what my audience gravitates to, because I ultimately think that your content is for you. Once I got out of trying to create for other people, it just became so much easier. Like, what I will say is I try to bucket out the content that I make for the week. I'm gonna make a video on how I manage my 9 to 5 and how I manage creating content, because it is a lot. What I will say is I have created a system for myself to where I can not feel, I won't say not feel burnt out, because I do think that if I'm creating content consecutively for like 3 weeks at a time, that 4th week I'm down. So I'm doing a lot of repurposing. I'm doing a lot of trending sounds. Again, I'll get into it in another video. Gonna go in with the Bisou blush in Aisa. This also has become like one of my favorite products by Violet FR. We really have some really good products. So I'm gonna be linking those down below, so get into it. Yeah, I've just fallen in love with creating content on TikTok. I think that I have broken out what it is that I want to do with my content. Ultimately, I think I have gotten to a place where I am, you know, just trying to build a personal brand outside of what I do for a 9 to 5. I think that I got so accustomed to being the Clinique girl or being the Tom Ford girl, and that was what people maybe started to like know me for, I guess. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that I've worked so hard to, you know, be a part of these brands and be a part of the story of these brands, and, you know, putting in the hours. That's what you want to be known for. You want to be known for what it is that you do and what it is that you're passionate about. But that wasn't the only thing that I wanted to be known for. I think that I have a very creative mind, and ultimately I love beauty. Like, I am a beauty girl, tried and true. I just want to get online and talk about all of my favorite stuff. I really wanted to dedicate my personal brand to just kind of, I feel like I've been in like a season of like testing and learning. Like, I have been creating consistently, I've been creating content consistently on TikTok for, I want to say, for about a year and some change now. So growth wasn't always my idea. It wasn't always my like goal, I guess you could say. I really just wanted to like throw whatever at the wall and see what was gonna stick, see what it is that people like, what it is that, so then I can use that to fuel how I educate, how I entertain, or how I just inspire people. Using the allll Skin Enhancing Concealer, I'm like just an allll girl through and through now. Foundation, concealer, I need it all. So now that I have been like creating content consistently for a year, I've learned that people gravitate to my like day in the lives working in the beauty industry. I've learned that people gravitate to my more like aesthetic facing content. So anytime I'm like either out with my friends, or I'm traveling, or sharing, you know, experiences that I'm having, that usually tends to perform well. The content that I've recently started doing, sharing events that are happening in the areas, I can't even say the areas, I can't even just say New York, because now I'm like having people comment like, oh, what's in Houston, what's in Chicago, what's in Seattle, like, oh, hey y'all, what's going on? Once I figured out what it is that people are coming to me for, but also still making it very personalized, right? Because like I said, I want to educate people. So the content where people are looking for tips, they're looking for how to work in the beauty industry, they're looking for how to either get the same or similar life experiences that I've had. Whatever sort of educational content that people have been gravitating towards, that's what I'm now like not focusing on creating, but I've made myself aware of it, so that, you know, when I am doing my research, I'm doing, you know, my digging on just certain beauty industry things, I take that to my platforms. Now when it comes to entertaining people, that's where my like beauty content can come in, because I really love doing get ready with me's. I really love sharing any sort of new beauty products that I have. But at the end of the day, I'm a marketer, so I know just how to market myself and how to like show up in certain ways. So I have taken steps to like do my market research, if you will. You still want to remain authentic and be personable and everything in between. On the one side of this advice, it can be a little daunting, because I feel as though sometimes the content that I either don't put a lot of effort into, that's the content that's getting 50,000, 20,000, 100,000 even views and engagement, versus the content that I put my heart and soul into and it's getting like 200 views. That can be so debilitating, and it can be so just discouraging. But I think what I love now, and a lot of the creators that I follow on TikTok, the podcasts that I listen to, again, you cannot make your content journey about anybody else but you. I think that is advice that has just ultimately stuck with me in every way, shape, or form. It has to be for you. It literally has to be for you. I also think it's a beautiful thing when you can look back at your own growth, which I think is really, really cool, and something that I have loved just through creating content, just looking back on stuff that I've made like years ago and just where I was, how my voice sounds, what I'm talking about, how I just like articulate myself. It's actually really, really cool. It's like a little time capsule. So think about it in that aspect. Like, granted, you want to, you know, make a way, you want to make a name for yourself, you want to feel as though you're putting out things of value, but that'll come with time. You want to really just get on your platforms and show up as yourself, and whoever's gonna gravitate towards it, they're gonna gravitate. You know what I mean? That comes with a lot of mental gymnastics of just like, just showing up for yourself, because you can and you should, no matter what it is that you are doing. I feel like this kind of leads me into another topic of, you know, while I am building my personal brand outside of my 9 to 5, which I think is always really, really important, because a company can fire you tomorrow. A company can, you know, decide that they are downsizing, they're doing whatever they need to do. And again, you're just a speck of dust in the midst of the grand scheme of things. And so I think building a personal brand is important. I'm actually listening to a personal brand podcast right now, or I was this morning before I started filming, just because I know that that is a big goal for me. I think that I am someone that's very creative. I am someone that, you know, I like to drive the boat, per se. I like to, you know, just have some more autonomy. I think that when I was in college, I was a entrepreneur. I was doing makeup, I was babysitting, I was, you know, doing a lot of things on my own terms. And so once you kind of get into a space where you're on somebody else's terms and you're in somebody's office all day long, you're like, okay, there could be a life outside of this. Like, I could definitely do something outside of whatever I am doing in this current moment in time. That's another conversation for another day. But what I will say is that working in influencer marketing, I am constantly inspired. Using the Rare Beauty blush in Truth. This is the powder blush that has like a hint of like shimmer in it, which I love. Using the tools that I have at work to feel very inspired each and every single day has kind of been like what's keeping me grounded in my content journey, keeping me inspired. I think that it's really cool that I get to write briefs for creators now and just kind of feel a little more creative in my work, but then also creative outside of work has just kind of really kept me going in that aspect. And so I don't know, I struggle with do I want to work in influencer marketing or do I want to be an influencer? Which one is it? So yes, as I close out my makeup, as I finish yapping, I really want to get on YouTube and just talk to you guys a little more. Again, just trying to find ways to stay inspired, to inspire people that watch my content, my like baby community right now. I really cherish just where I'm at in my journey. And so yeah, let me know what you guys want to see from me. Let me know what you want to chit chat about. I definitely want to get on here and start the morning voice. What's going on? I definitely want to get on YouTube and just start chatting more about like beauty news, things that are happening in just the beauty industry as a whole. I've gotten on TikTok and talked about it a little bit, but I feel like TikTok is not the right platform for that. So I think I'm gonna start bringing Beauty Bureau over to YouTube. Definitely want to talk more about building a personal brand outside of your 9 to 5. Build a life as a creative, as a marketer, as a beauty expert, and take you guys on the journey with me. I think that it's really beautiful to, again, see your growth, see where you've come from, where you've gone. And so I'm gonna put on my Mario Plumping Lip Serum in Petal Glow. This is like one of my favorite lip products. I always say it's the only plumping gloss that doesn't like burn my lips off, which I can genuinely appreciate. It's like the perfect nude. Look at that. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I cannot wait to get more in my YouTube bag. I'm feeling really chatty as of late. I don't know if it's Mercury retrograde or what it is, but yeah, we're gonna start chatting some more. If you like this video, like it, comment, subscribe, tell me what you want to see, what you want to chit chat about, and let's get into it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.